Hi, I'm Joe Sorge, and welcome to the Family Law Report, where we examine the problems and challenges facing our family law system. This is part 3 in a series with Susan Settenbrino, covering judicial bias and corruption. Susan's book, Unchecked Power, explores the problems that arise when the selection of judges becomes too political and when judges have no accountability or oversight. Susan, you begin your book with some quotes from retired U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day OConnor. What did she recognize?
She recognized the problem with having politicians in robes on the bench, as she put it. We can't afford that. She said we need the courts to be the one safe place that we can all turn to. She said money can't control the outcome of who we have as judges. And if we allow this election process to continue, it's going to destroy our justice system. And I believe it has.
Aren't some judges appointed by state governors or the president?
Judges can be elected and they could be appointed. And I have a problem with both because both of them rely on the political machine.
What's the political machine?
The political machine is the machine that makes sure that we get the district attorneys into office, the attorney general into office, the governor into office, the mayor into office, and this same political machine puts the judges into office either by way of election or by way of appointment through a governor or a mayor who were politically elected into office.
But when the people elect judges, aren't we choosing who we want?
Well, I guess there's always the chance that the public could say, I'm not going to vote party lines and we're going to change, I guess there's that chance, but I just don't think it works that way. So we just go by what the normal course of events are, which is that most people vote according to party lines, and they're very supportive of their councilmen, assemblymen, whoever's pushing these candidates or whatever. And it's the party bosses that are choosing. The Democratic or the Republican party bosses are choosing who will be the next judge.
Well, that may be the system's Achilles heel, but we'll get into that later. Do judges encounter much competition when they run for election?
There's not much competition, no. It's like a de facto judgeship. And, and then there seems to be politicians who help the governor get in, and they want to ensure that certain judges are appointed by the governor or the mayor, and that's the way it seems to work. So it's all political.
I know you have a problem with the way judicial elections are funded.
You can't just get a judge into office through an election without raising hundreds of thousands, and there's cases, I understand, millions, getting judges into the courthouse. Now,
wait a minute, Susan. Who typically donates to these judicial elections?
I believe it's the monies that go into raising funds for the election come from attorneys, law firms.
Have you seen a pattern with law firms that donate money to judges?
I believe there is a pattern. Based on what I saw, I believe there's a pattern with certain outcomes with certain law firms, with certain judges. I believe that there seems to be a pattern.
Have you seen judges tempted or influenced by job offers coming from big law firms?
We are all people. Judges are people. And you want to know something, if you only have a political process in which to choose judges, you're only really getting a sampling of certain type of people who are political, people who raise money, people who may do favors. You're not getting a broad spectrum of candidates. And if they have a conflict of interest where they can go work for a law firm, and there's actually a case where this judge had been ruling a certain way, I think it was a New Jersey case, and then he changed his rulings, and it came out that it was right after he had been offered a job in a law firm after retirement. I believe if there's an opportunity, there will be people who will take it, and it could affect what they're doing, and that needs to be exposed.
This is almost comical, but I've heard attorneys say that they should be choosing the judges because they know who's good and who's not good. What do you think?
Yes, lawyers know, but if they have a self-interest in promoting a judge by helping raise funds for him and then appearing before him and making a living off of his, being a successful attorney because all the rulings seem to go his way, is not, it would not be fair to the public.
So attorneys are out, politicians are out, elections just rubber stamp party boss appointments. What's the solution?
You really have to ask the people. I had come up with a data form to establish a database where you would see the judge, you would see the law secretary, you would see the children's attorney that's appointed, the forensics, and you would see how much money was involved in the case. You would see the disposition, whether sex abuse was alleged and domestic violence and order protection. You'd see all this. They could have a coded number. Nobody has to know the names, but there would be a database where we would have a pattern. And I believe if we had that, if we started looking at patterns of certain lawyers before certain judges and certain outcomes and certain children's attorneys appointed, it would tell you all you need to know.
That seems like a great solution. Give the people the information they need to judge the judges. That idea was turned down?
They didn't want that, and they didn't want to address it. You're facing a system that doesn't want to change. You're facing a system that is protecting misconduct. You're facing a system that is not reaching out to the litigant, the people they're meant to serve. So if they're not serving the litigants that they were created to serve, then they're not doing their job, and that needs to be addressed.
Well, we agree. If you find this topic interesting, please watch Part 4 in this series on judicial corruption, where Susan talks about the ineffectiveness of the appeals courts and the oversight committees. What are the solutions? How do we fix this mess? We will cover that as well in Part 4. I'm Joe Sorge, and this is the Family Law Report. Thank you.